Well, hello, good morning, everybody. Hey, it's Becky from Power Tools with Thread. You are in our Stitchuation room, and this is a Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Central virtual stitching retreat, where you follow me in my sewing journey, and I hope I can inspire you to put something under the needle. I need to turn down my volume on my phone. I did pull it up, but that way, because I want to see what you guys are saying. Sometimes you guys are like, wrong camera. Where's my Frito? She's right here. Let's see. There she is. Good girl. There she is. There's a Frito. Hi. Where's your bucket? Where's your Frito bucket that you got from Glory? Here it is right there. This is our rescue Frito. If you're new to the channel, she's a 5-year-old Queensland stumpy tail cattle dog. We got her at our local no-kill shelter. Great to see everybody here in the chat. You love my shirt? Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Here, you go brush your teeth. Good girl. She gets a little rawhide every day, and that keeps her out of the veterinarian dental office. I got stuff everywhere in my angles here. Well, good morning to all you guys. This is great. I love having y'all here. Okay, the screen is blinking on and off. I don't know why, Lisa. I'm not sure. I am connected, hardwired into the internet. Okay. Not sure about that. I don't see that on the camera. On my phone, I'm not seeing that. That might do. So, oh, it is? Okay. Yours is blinking too, then it's not. It's not blinking on my phone. Let's see. I just don't see it. You're seeing that too, and then we have no blinks. We do have storms going through our area. You guys, it looks like it's 8 o'clock at night out there, even later. Super dark. Goes black and comes. You don't. So we have yes and no on the blinking. I'm sorry, you guys. I think that's kind of out of my ability to do anything about that. Okay. Yeah, we had a big power outage this morning. Oh, the stormy weather is causing blinks and everything. Okay, that may be it. I'm just not sure why everything is connected tight. I don't have any problems. Yeah. Oh, we met in London on the sewing trip. Cool. Yeah, it's just because of the storms, y'all. I don't know. Not sure about that. Okay. So yesterday was fun, wasn't it? Whoa. If you were not here, I was going through how to embroider the So Timeless clock from the Me Time Bella box. I keep having to change my thought process on that. I keep wanting to say Kimberbell. Let me show you the final product. I did finish it. Let me get this here. Didn't that come out cute? You know what I really like about this clock? It has there's a lot of Texans too. 10 seconds. So yes, I did go back and try again on Spanky. The second hand is not a tick, tick, tick. It's a quiet sweep. I love that. It turned out just beautiful. If you have not made this, you have the Bella box and you haven't made this yet, a couple of tips I would give you is be sure to pull the plastic covering off the hands. There's a thin little piece of clear plastic covering on the hands. Okay. And then the clock blank itself is, it's kind of half white and half yellow, and it's got numbers on it. I recommend flipping that over to the back side before you put all this together so that all you have is white. Otherwise, you can see some yellow around the bottom edge, okay? So this turned out really cute. The problem yesterday was complete operator error. Can you believe that I, Power Tools with Thread, would screw that up? Early in the video, I had pulled that dime magnetic hoop out. I was using the 10 by 12, sorry, 8 by 12 dime magnetic hoop for the multi-needle. And I had pulled it out and I didn't push it all the way back into the frame. And since I didn't do that, the back edge of the hoop was forward a little bit. And when it went around, boy, that needle just banged right on top of the edge of that hoop. You are supposed to stitch this in an 8x8. So I figured the 8x12 will be fine. Completely my fault and not Kimberbell's, me time, or Spanky's. Complete operator error. Yeah, not Becky, user error. No way. Right. So a couple of you mentioned it, and I did pin a comment from me at the top of underneath the video saying that it was all my fault. But I do want to share with you the, see here, let me share this with you to show you guys that everything worked out fine. Let's. It turned out just beautiful. So, no problems. Oh, no problems with Spanky. He's performing just fine. So anyway, yeah, you certainly can do that in the 8x12 hoop. Ready. So it didn't work for you, Elaine? Okay. All right. So I just wanted to give a follow-up from yesterday. I retitled the video to call it a disaster and how to be cool under pressure, because that machine is really a workhorse and it can take some abuse, obviously. So this turned out just absolutely gorgeous. The stitching is beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. So very, very nice. And there's a fly here. Oh my goodness. All righty. So today we are here to work on, let me remove that. Okay, that's bothering me. So we're here to work on the Autumn Love embroidery quilt. So we're not doing the quilting version. We're doing the embroidery version, and I am making the 6x10. And I know you're really excited to get started on this. Today, we're going to make the first block, the Harvest Star 1. And want to make a note, there are 4 Harvest Star blocks in this quilt. They're in all 4 corners, okay? I'm going to show you how you can do all 4 of them at once. I'm only going to do one, but then I will do the next 3. I'll show you how to really make this very efficient for cutting out all of your shapes at one time. Okay, because they're all the same. So let me get a sip of coffee here. Is that one of Linda? One of the regulars got picked for a Wednesday person to be getting picked for Sewing Machines Plus Studio giveaway. Awesome, awesome. That's great. Very cool. Okay, let me make that. Come on. Oh, let me hide that current comment. There we go. Okay, I'm still blinking in and out. See, I just don't see that, you guys. I don't see it on my phone. It's quite annoying. You know, the only thing I can do is to close the, oh, I see it now. I saw it on my phone. Yep. Video's cutting out. I don't know what to do with that except to jump out and then jump back in. So I'd have to go dark. I don't want to end this stream. I can't do that. Hold on. I can't do that. It's YouTube, is it? It's okay. It's got to be the internet. See, I'm not seeing it on the laptop. I do see it on the phone. So my internet connection, I can tell you guys, is fine. The radar is red. Oh, it's YouTube. Okay. So the radar is red all the way around us where I am right now. I'm in South Texas and we're getting a lot of storms. And the TV is doing fine. And, you know, we're streaming on the TV as well. So, yeah, it's on your laptop. I don't think it's going to help either for me to reboot. It's got to be here, you guys. Got to be the weather. I am sorry. Y'all can just not watch and go sew or something like that if you want. Okay, so, oh, okay. I'm hearing no problem on the TV. I'm not sure what it is, you guys. I am not. Okay, since you're doing the larger quilt, you can most likely cut the shapes at one time, but you don't think you'd be able to hoop them all at one time. That is correct. Yeah, you'll have to. Now, this embroidery design, what's done is like for those tall blocks, they've broken them into parts and pieces. So where in the quilting version, you would do that whole block at one time, in the embroidery version, they've broken them into parts and pieces. So, okay. You guys, the weather is on my end, okay? It's still thundering out there and a little bit of lightning. So the quilt that we're making, Donna, is the Autumn Love embroidery version from Lori Holt by Riley Blake. Okay, this is what we're making. And I'm doing the 6x10 version, the smaller one. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, weather is horrible all over Southeast Texas, Central Texas, all the way to Houston. It's bad. Probably on into Louisiana. Okay. Y'all, it's really dark outside. Really dark. All righty. So I have done some prep for today. So I'm going to switch cameras and show you. Okay. All right. So will the quilt end up being really stiff? No, Linda, I'm not going to do that. All right. So that's a good question because it's not going to be stiff because I'm using 2 layers of no-show mesh versus the pattern says to use a heavyweight tearaway, and it's the heavyweight tearaway that causes that super stiffness. There's also a lot of fabric in the embroidery pattern, you guys. Let me go ahead and hoop this. This is the dime 6x10 magnetic hoop. Okay. And let me just get this done. I've got all my fabric prepped and ready to go. Let me turn on this. Okay. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing with this, okay? And if you follow the manufacturer's instructions, that's great. Go right ahead. So here it is one way, and I'm just going to turn this the opposite way, and I'm crisscross. All right. So this is going to give me a nice stable hooping. And then you take the corrugated plastic and put it in here. This is how you don't get your fingers pinched. Hold it up, stand it perpendicular next to the arm, okay? And then make sure your edges are even right here, and then fold it down, all right? And then you pull the corrugated plastic out, and that's going to give you a nice smooth hooping without pinching your fingers, and it's enough, okay? If you're new here, please let us know. I've got a welcoming wandering around. They'll be sure to let you know and welcome you. Okay. All right. So also, let's talk this. My batting, you guys, I have a whole roll of a 60-40 hemp bamboo, and I used it in a quilt, and I got a bubble out of it, and I'm not comfortable using it in quilting anymore. So I cut up these pieces I'm going to use it in embroidery. It'll be fine. Okay. And then my background pieces. Now the pattern tells you to cut 10-inch squares. Y'all, that's a huge waste, because if you look at the pattern, it tells you to trim to 5.5. So why would you cut a 10-inch square if you're going to trim it to 5.5? So these are 7-inch squares. All right. So there's my background fabric. And then this is a 5-inch, I believe this is 5 or 5.5. I do not have any of the SF-101 on the back. Okay. And then These are 5.5 squares-ish of the design we're going to do. And then this one is for the center star. And I have heat and bond light on the back of these already. So I'm all prepped to make just one block. And then I've got stacks of these to use over and over. Okay. So another thing I want to show you, I've seen a lot of images on and posts on our Facebook group that show where people had the instructions printed. And I think it's like 137 pages. You guys don't have to do this. All right. All right. I'm going to show y'all. Let me see. I have a tablet. Okay. I'll tell you a trick. If you pull this up on a desktop, okay, pull up the instructions on a desktop, make like you're going to email the instructions to yourself, okay, and create a draft email, and then don't send it. And then go to another device that you have and go to your email and open up your drafts, and it'll be there. That is the beauty of the cloud. My batting is 7x7 too. Yes, it is. Okay. So you guys, I can't do anything about the blink. I'm very sorry about that. I wish I could. Let's get, I've got Starlink. So let me give a text message to Elon and get him to fix that. So what I did was I emailed this to myself. Okay. And now I've got it right here on my tablet. I didn't email it to myself. I put it into a draft email, and then I came over to my tablet and just opened it up. This is how I'm saving money, saving trees, right? So this is great. This is the way to do this. I know you love these tricks. I know. All righty. So on this, turn around. I have it on. So you need to go into your settings on your device. Make sure it's fully charged. Go into your settings on your device and set it for the sleep settings and tell it none, okay? So that it never goes off and you've always got your instructions on. It's very annoying when you're trying to read the instructions and it goes dark, right? Or it goes to sleep after 10 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever it's set for. So go into your settings, whatever device you're on, whether it's an iPad or whatever, and find your sleep settings and tell it don't go to sleep ever. And all I do is I just use the power button to make it go dark, have it plugged in, and it's ready to go the next day. So this is, I'm just leaving this on. This is all I use this tablet for, is instructions for my embroidery designs. So it's a really, really cool trick. Okay. All right. So on the Harvest Star block, if you go to page 2, Harvest Star 1, if you go to page 2, right in here, I'll just hold this up to the camera so you can see. It's going to tell you your trim size right there. There's your trim sizes. So this is going to tell you what you need to cut it to. Okay. That's how you know how big to make the block. I'll be making the 6x10 version. Okay. I'm going to trim my block to 5.5. I'm going to trim the embroidery part of that to 5.5. I will trim it to 6.5 to give me seam allowance, because you're going to need your seam allowance to press. When we're doing this kind of project, I like a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Okay. If you cut it to a 1/4 inch, it's okay, but it's kind of hard to get your iron in there. It's just easier on your fingers to open up those seam allowances when you're pressing from the back after you've stitched your block there with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. It's up to you, but I am going to use, I'm going to use a 1/2 inch. So let me show you how I'm going to do this. I'm going to be using Essentials. So this is not a Snapplique project. You guys, if you just joined us, I am sorry. Yeah, you can save it to your files if you own an iPad. You sure can. That's what I did on this. I saved it. So that's a Microsoft Surface. I had it on an old long arm, and don't have the long arm anymore, so I've just got this, so that's what I use it for. All right, so if you joined us, I'm under heavy thunderstorms, okay? So I've got internet blinking, and I'm sorry about that. I do see it on my phone now. Man, I wish I could fix that, and I can't. It's driving me crazy. Oh, let me do this. I'm gonna make this go away down here. Remove from studio. There we go. Okay. All righty. So I'm going to jump into Embrilliance Essentials. Down below in the description box, underneath it says more or ... more. Click that. I've got a video in there to show you how to create SVG cut files from Embrilliance. It's a 1-minute video I did several years ago, and it's really quick and easy for you to use as a reference. Also, if you're having issues, there's a link there for brother support. If you are having issues with your ScanNCut not being able to see those PHX files. Okay. I am not using SF101 on any of my pieces because, ML Weber, because I am using that crisscross of the no-show mesh. Okay. That's going to work. It is going to work because I did it on my test block and it works. All right. Let's see. Am I using Heat and Bond Light instead of SF101? So Susan, if you're going to use SF101 in an embroidery design, you'll only use SF101 on your background fabric. This is the fabric for the entire block. Okay. I have Heat and Bond Light on my applique pieces. See the paper on there? I have Heat and Bond Light on the applique pieces. So now I'm going to jump over to Embrilliance. Oh, I forgot my USB. Let me go get it. It's over here. Did I? No. Where's it at? I have it. Did I forget? I didn't forget it. It's sitting right there. I forgot I moved it over here. Y'all, my brain. Oh, my word. Also, I have listed below, if you need background quilting, I'm using Designs by Juju quilting backdrops. I have links to the ones that I'm using below and where I am going to use them. So I've got all of that. Okay. Let's see. Did Riley Blake put together a thread box for the project? They did not. They do give you a thread list of Robeson Anton threads. Had we had more time, then let's see. This is the question from Tyler. Let's see. Had we had more time, then Two Chicks Quilting, who kitted this project, would have been able to probably order the threads that we needed, but there just wasn't the time for that. Okay. And let's see, where was I going with that? Oh, yes, I am just pulling threads. I just matched threads to the fabric, you guys. That's all I did. Very easy to do. Just hold your fabric up. Too simple. Y'all, all of this fabric right here, because I did not get a fabric kit, these are all left over from How to Build a Scarecrow, because that used the autumn line. I haven't gotten into the Quilted Scarecrow kit yet, so I'm pretty good with that. Where is the Robeson Anton thread list, Patricia? It is in your instructions, okay? It's, I think, see, let me get on here and look where, oh, I'm going the wrong way. It's, let's see, it's before the fabric listing, okay? And, oh my goodness. They've got it. Let's see. Let's see. Thread notions and supplies are on page 8. Thread notions and supplies on page 8. So you don't have to use their thread. You don't have to use that Robeson Anton thread. You can if you want, or they also have a link in there where you can click over to some conversions, okay, and see if something in there works. Some of you have Some of you have issues with the with your eyesight, and you don't see the colors real well. So I can appreciate that. All righty. So I know I like, Vicki, I like going into my fabric stash to use that stuff up too. Oh, that blinking is annoying. You're right. Y'all, it just thundered. Everybody's saying it's YouTube. I don't know if it is or not, or if it's the weather, and I'm sorry. So Tammy, my background fabric is listed in the instructions. It's the exact same fabric that is listed in the instructions. Okay. Michelle, no, you do not need enthusiasts to do Snapplique, but this is not a Snapplique project. Snapplique is when you are creating the embroidery design yourself. These embroidery designs are already created by Riley Blake. Okay. I'm just putting them all together. All right. So let me show you. I'm going to open up Embrilliance and share my screen with y'all. All righty. Let me go to window here and get down to Embrilliance, and let's go ahead and open that. Okay. So I want to open up the Harvest Star block, and I'm going to go into my, I'm going to just do a drag and drop. You know what? You guys can't see my screen all the time. So I'm going to take my camera and move it around so you guys can watch my screen. I think that's what I was going to do. Let me go back here. And I want to go to like that. Okay. That's what I want to do so you guys can see that. Okay. Click back on Embrilliance. Let me make sure you can see what I see. Okay. So I'm going to open, and I'm going to go to this. Now I need, oh, you still can't see that. You still cannot. Boy, that is annoying. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Let me go back here. Okay. I know you've got the infinity screen here. Hold on a minute, you guys. This isn't going to work. I just cannot figure this out. Okay, that'll work, I think. All righty. I just want to make sure you can see what I see. Yeah, you can see this now. Okay, let me hit cancel. So what I'm doing here, let me zoom in on that screen so you guys can have the full picture of what I'm doing. Y'all, the reason I'm doing this is because my, there, that's good. My streaming software does not allow you to see the pop-up windows on my screen. It's a security thing. All right. So what I'm going to do, I've got Embrilliance. You only need Embrilliance Essentials. So I'm going to open a design, and I am on my USB drive. So let me open the Autumn Love Quilt. Okay. And go to PES. Oh, here it is right here. I'm going to use this one. Is that it? That's it. And I'm going to open that. Okay. So there is the base design. And I want to add my background in. Okay. So I'm going to open again. And let me click on the background quilting. I put all the background quilting in here that I wanted to do. I'm going to use the crosshatch. This is Designs by Juju Backdrops. I'm using the crosshatch and the In the Hoop Quilt As You Go files. That's what I'm going to use. And we have square blocks, 2-inch sashing, or 3, 4, and 6-inch width blocks. Let me see if she has a 5.5. Let me see. No, she has a 5x5 and a 6x6. So I'm going to use the 6x6. All right. So we don't this is what it's going to look like. I'm going to click open. So now what I've done here, this has opened another tab up here. Okay. Now, in the design, in my background quilting design, I'm going to click the little plus sign. It's got placement line, tack down, placement line, background quilting. This is in the objects panel here. Okay. I don't need the placement line. I'm going to hit delete on my keyboard. I'm highlighting that one. I don't need that. And I don't need this. All I need is this background quilting. That's all I need. Okay. So now on the screen, I'm going to right click on it. No, let me highlight that. Right click and copy. And I'm going to come back to the embroidery design. Okay. And right click and paste. Now you see that is larger than, because we can see right here selected, it's 6 1/8 by, or 6 1/16 by 6 1/16. This is larger than that 5.5 inch trim. You can do that, okay, but you're going to get, these stitches right here are going to get into your batting, and you're not going to be able to use your trimmer by George. I want to use the trimmer by George. So what I'm going to do is just on this one right here, okay, just on this crosshatch, I'm going to come up to the size over here in the upper left inch. I'm going to make sure that the padlock is locked to scale proportionally. And I'm going to change one of the numbers to 5 point, whoop, is that right? I can't see, 0.5, and hit enter. So I have scaled that down to 5.5 now. It wasn't a whole lot. I'm going to do this to every single block. Okay. I'm going to scale proportionally to 5.5. And that's going to make sure this matches now the 5.5 inch trim line. It's highlighted. Let me move it. Let me click off and click back on. So I'm just going to use my arrow key to go down. So see how it's exactly in line. It's kind of faint. It's exactly in line with that. So I'm going to undo and put that back. All right. And let me see. I need to move this back up to where I'll just click center in the hoop. Perfect. Now it's sitting on top of the design. I need to move it. Again, this is essentials. You don't have to use Stitch Artist for this. You notice I have not gone into Stitch Artist button at all. So I need to turn on my embroidery machine is what I need to do. Okay. So I'm going to open this up by clicking on this arrow. You have a plus sign if you're in Windows. And you see here, okay, we have the placement line for the batting, tack down. Well, that's the tack down for the batting. It doesn't give you a placement line. I want you to put the batting right in the center of the hoop to start with. Okay. And the background fabric. It wants that all down at one time. I want a placement line for my batting. Okay. If you want to trim away the batting, I would do a placement and a tack down for that. So you can click and copy. Okay. Right click and paste. And it put it all the way at the bottom of the design. So now I'm highlighting the bottom of the design, and I'm going to right click and move first. All right. What this is done now is there's my placement line for the batting. So that's going to tell me exactly where to lay down and make sure my batting and my fabric are in the right place. So that way you don't have to put it in the hoop, your fabric and everything. You don't have to go through all that. So that's a really cool little trick. Just give yourself a placement line for the batting and the fabric. Okay. So now we're into the design. So this will be, yep. So there is your tack down for the fabric, the very first stitch. There's the placement line for the first piece of applique. I am not cutting this on the cutting machine. Okay. I'm not going to cut one on the cutting machine, on the ScanNCut. I'm going to trim that one away manually. All right. I guess I could. I didn't even think about it, but it doesn't matter. All right. And there's the tack down for that. So, and then here we go with the placement line for the red. I'm going to come down here on the red color chip, right click and tell it applique position. All right. And then there's the tack down. I'm just going to go through here. Applique position line for the yellow or the gold. Right click, applique position. There's the tack down for that. And then applique position. Tell it highlights a little darker. It's surrounded by the little handles, right? Right click, applique position. Okay. And then the rest of these, there's the tack down. And there are the final stitches. Okay, good. And that's it. Now, I need to move my background quilting. I'm going to grab it, not on the words, but on the picture. And I'm going to drag it up to right before, let's see, where is it? I can't tell in the pictures, y'all. Okay, so this is the tack down for the fabric. I think I want it right here. Hover over the one you want it to be after, and that didn't work. Open up. Let me not have to drag it so far. I'm going to click off that. Scroll up. Let's see. Let me see which one I need to put it after. So tack down for the fabric, placement, tack down. I want it before this placement line. I want to stitch the background quilting on the background fabric. So to hover it over 2.1 on my screen. Okay. Grab it on the picture, drag it up, and I'm going to hover it over 2.1 and put it right there. All right. So let's go through the now and see what we've got. Placement line for the fabric, the batting and the fabric, tack down for the batting and the fabric, background quilting, and now there's the placement line for the applique. Okay, that works. So that looks really good. I'm happy with it. Now I need to get my cut files to Brother Canvas. So I'm going to, on the chips here down in the properties area, I'm going to just left click on a chip. And it opens up a thread dialog box. No, that's not right. Let me tell you, disregard that, you guys. I'm going to come here on this whole, it's number 4, which is a whole embroidery design. It's all highlighted. Okay. Now I'm going to left click on a chip and you get the thread dialog box and you have color applique. I'm going to come to applique and I don't see what I need to see. All right. Where is it? And let me go to an applique position. Get off that. Applique position. See how it says applique position on there? Now let me left click. There we go. So you need to highlight one of the applique position color stops. And your tab comes up. You're going to go to your cutting section. On inflate, I'm going to tell it nothing. So the default is 1.5. I'm going to leave it at nothing and I'm going to click Save All. And I'm going to call it Harvest Star. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Hold on, my SVG. So it's an I can see that that's an SVG there. And I'm going to save it in my my downloads so it's easy to find and click Save. Okay, and then just click on the OK and click out of that after we're done. So all of these Harvest Star blocks, all 4 of them are the same. Okay, so let me turn this back. That was something, huh? Yeah. What did I do with my button? That seems like a lot of steps, but once you get this down, you'll be zipping, okay? We just went through and created the SVG files for all 4 SVG files and background quilting. Oh, the one last thing I want to do, let me put you back over here so you can see again. Quick. I got cords so you can see again. You should be facing the screen. There you are. Okay. Let me get in a little bit further. I'm going to send it to my luminaire. If you have, let's see here. There we go. All right. You can come up to utility. Can you guys, let me make sure you can see that. Hold on. I want you to be able to see what I'm doing here. There, now you can see the menus. The streaming software annoys no end. Okay, so you're going to come up to utility, Wi-Fi to brother baby lock. Okay, and I'm going to call it Harvest Star. And it likes spaces, so that's why I use camel case, which is part upper and part lower. And I'm going to tell it okay. And then it's going to say, it's going to spin and look pretty there in the middle. And it should say file machine unless my internet is giving me, did it? There it goes. Result, file sent to machine. I'm going to tell it okay. There. So that Harvest Star, you're going to use that exact same file for all 4 Harvest Star blocks. You don't have to use all the different ones because they're all identical. Okay. So make it easy, guys. Where you see an opportunity to use multiples and do it, do it all at once, go for that. My pool guys are here. It must have quit raining. Have I lost everybody completely? Let me get back over to this so I can see you guys. You are not dumb, scrapping like a lady. You are not dumb. This is a new process. This is a new process, and you're going to watch it over and over, and you will see, how it'll come to you. I promise. It will come to you. You are not dumb. Now, we don't like negative self-talk here. Okay. You guys have to watch this first video over and over. So what I did was I merged designs. I merged the star block, did not change the size. You don't want to do that. And I used a Designs by Jude quilting backdrop, and I changed the size of that to be the same size, trim size, 5.5, as the star block. I merged those, okay? I went through and identified all the applique position pieces, which are going to be SVG cut files, all right? And then I moved the background quilting into the right stitch order on the embroidery file. So the stitches after the batting and fabric have been tacked down, all right? It will work. It will work. It just keep saying, I'm going to get this. I'm going to get this. It's intimidating. I know, Joanna. You are not dumb. You just need to hit replay over and over. It's fine. Y'all make the numbers go up on this video. Give me a thumbs up too. Y'all, this takes a lot of my head, and I'm doing it on the fly. Okay. Yeah, if you've got Bell Autumn background quilting, that would be beautiful. If you've got those clear blue tiles, or knock yourself out. You may find the clear blue. Now, Candace Park is right. Once you do it over and over, it sinks in. She's watching me for more than a year. You guys, yes, Robin says, I think I can. I think I can. All right. Do I think you need to set the backdrop to 5 inches and not 5.5, so no stitch seam allowance? You're always going to have stitches in the seam allowance, okay? Because there's an outer stitching line that marks, and that outer stitching line is actually going to be in your seam allowance. You won't notice it. It's not that big of a deal. You can do it. Yeah. Yes, you can do this, Janice. I love this, you guys. You guys all learn differently, okay? And I know it seems highly technical, but I'm going to do this same process over and over and over. You don't have to do it this way. You don't have to. I'm doing it this way because I want to do this quilt efficiently. So You can do one block at a time and follow the instructions exactly as they are written in the instruction manual, okay? That wastes a lot of fabric. That's my opinion. It's not my opinion, it's the truth. You guys can do this. You're going to put it on the long arm. So Sandy, if you're going to put it on the long arm, then you don't have to worry about doing the if you're going to put it on the long arm, I would put SF101 on the back of your background fabric because you don't have the batting to give you that stability you need for those heavy decorative stitches. Okay. Okay. So let's get into Brother Canvas. I'm going to pull that up and I'm going to show you guys how we can do this. So, all right, I'm going to share my screen. Canvas Workspace, and here we go. This is free. You don't have to have a Brother machine to do this. You can just make yourself a little account on Brother Canvas and get to going. I'm going to go to New. Okay, they give you a new one right there, and there's an SVG button right up here, okay? I'm going to put this in, and it says choose a file. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can see this on the web page. You can't see it on my software for Embrilliance. So here's my Harvest Star SVG that you can't see, and I'm going to pull it up. So you can tell it says Harvest Star SVG right here, and I'm going to click OK. So here are all of the SVG pieces. Here's all the cut files. Now I'm going to save this right now as Harvest Star. Up here in the upper left, that says project title, Harvest Star. All right. And I'm just going to click the inbox with an arrow on it to save it, overwrite the project. And it says overwrite because it gives it a strange number name by default. Okay, so here we go. Now, if you want to cut all 4 of these, Frito, you got the tweezers? Goodness, Frito has the tweezers. Frito, go see Daddy. Okay. So if you want to cut all 4 of them at once, I would do, so these directional arrows, okay, I would pull these over and set them to where they need to go. These are all the red, okay? Just put these wherever you want. Get them all together. So if you just directly send these using my connection to the ScanNCut, you cannot move them. They move as one object, okay? If you're using the My Connection feature, they move as one object. But here, oh, that might be touching a little close. Okay. So here are all the red, all right? And let me move the star. I'm going to put this down here. And I'm going to put this, see how they're all one? I'm going to put these close together. Okay. Now, again, I said, I like to do things efficiently, all right, to do them all at one time. We have 4 Harvest Star blocks. So we have 4 quadrants of the mat. All right. So here's all of one color. I highlight them all, right click and group. Here's all of another color, right click and group. All right. And let me save this. I'm going to click the inbox again to save the Harvest Star. Okay. So we've saved that. Do you know where I'm going with this, you guys? Now, if you want to do all 4 at one time, you'll figure out the fabric colors that you need for all 4. I'm not going to do all 4 at one time today. I'm going to cut mine independently. But to do all 4 blocks at one time, okay, I'm going to highlight these 2 and hit delete. And I'm going to click this one, right click, copy, paste, paste. So now I have 4, and you're going to put your fabric, which you only need like a 5 by 5 square, if that, 4.5 square. Okay. See how much fabric you're saving? So now you're going to put a different color fabric in all 4 of these. All right. You're with me. Good, Candace. I'm glad. Thank you. So now you guys have got all 4 of them at one time. And I'm going to call it Harvest Star CLR1 for color 1. Okay. And I'm going to go to the project tab, and I'm going to hit the inbox with a plus. I'm not overwriting the original. Okay, so that's completed. Now, I'm going to get rid of these. Let me go to projects. And here's my original. Pull it on. All right. So I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to highlight that, delete, highlight this, delete, okay? And then highlight this one, right click, copy, all right? And paste, or you can right click, duplicate, whatever makes you happy. Doesn't matter, okay? It'll do it. Paste, paste, paste. So this is how you'll cut all 4 at one time. And you're going to do the exact same thing for the little star block. So in 3 runs of your ScanNCut mat, you have cut pieces for all, or if you've got a 24-inch mat, you can stick them all on there at one go and run them like that. Okay. That'll be even more efficient. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna, let's see, do this. That's the color 1, delete. I'm just going to go back to Canvas Workspace. I'm going to leave, and I'm going to open Projects and go to Harvest Star. And all I'm going to do now, I'll show you how to do this. So I'm going to grab this and just kind of put it in the middle of the square. So I've got some extra room around each piece to cut all my shapes. And I'm going to download. Okay. And I'm going to ScanNCut transfer. And ScanNCut transfer is ready, and hit close. There we go. All done. We're done with Canvas. All right. Makes sense? No? When we're finished, go back and do it again. Once you go through this, you're going to see how efficiently you're going to be able to cut all these blocks. Okay. All right. You guys got to go to work. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's the way it is. All right. So I'm going to cut out my shapes now, and then we will get them embroidered. Okay. I'm just doing one for now. Nice, Vicki. That's very nice. You did a quilt of valor this morning. That's awesome. Okay. My poor camera got tilted here. All right. I got cords in my way, y'all. Hello. Okay. You haven't used your ScanNCut yet, Peggy? You're going to be a ScanNCut pro by the time we are even less, just a couple blocks into this particular quilt. You'll be a ScanNCut pro. You'll be so proud of yourself. All right. Well, I'm ready to get going. Now, I do not have a ScanNCut mat that has any sticky left on it at all, I don't think. So I'm going to use my hacked mat. Do I have one? Oh, I got one right here. I got a ScanNCut mat right here. I was doing some test blocks. Yeah, I'm longer today, Casey Shaw, because today's traditionally Embroidery Thursday. But on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we'll be running a little bit longer now because I'm going to be doing Embroidery Tuesdays and Thursdays. Okay. There you go. Scrapping like a lady says, I closed my clinic just so I could sew today. Not a girl. So this mat, no sticky. It's old. I've had it forever. So I am going to do some Sulky KK2000 on it. Okay. Hi, Irene. You're not late. It's fine. The video is blinking because it's we're covered with super dark clouds and the internet is bad and we've got a lot of storms all around us right now. All right. So okay. Yes, these tips do work for lots of projects. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Oh, and Lynn, did you gave me a sticker the other day? Was that you? It was Kayla or Taylor. I didn't see it until after the video. If that was you, thank you. I appreciate it very much. I didn't see the pop-up on that. So, all right. Oh, you're going to the quilt show in Kansas City. Stop by Amy Bradley Designs. They've got a booth there and tell them hello for me, okay? Tell them you're one of Oops. All right, so I am going to get this on here. I'm going to move my project board out of the way. We're going to put that back here, okay? And let me switch camera, y'all. Whoa, what happened? That's weird. Hold on a minute. Here we go. Sorry, y'all. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I want to make, there we go. Boy, that's crazy. And get you telephotoed in so you can see. Okay. Oh, we're going to go wide for this one. Perfect. There we go. Sorry about that. Gremlins. We always get gremlins on these days, right? Okay, so I've got my mat. Now you need to pay attention. It helps to pay attention where you put things in canvas. So this is the top of the mat where the arrow is, okay? And I had my red stuff in this section of the mat, so I'm just putting that down. I am putting pretty side up, heat and bond side down, paper off, okay? This works for me where I'm at. If you have a super sticky mat, brand new sticky mat, you might want to do pretty side down, paper on, okay, and mirror your image. You can mirror in canvas or you can mirror at the machine. I choose to do it at the machine. Okay. And then my one shreds goes right there. Okay. Stick down. If your fabric sticks up at all on the corners, it'll be seen by the ScanNCut and it'll think you have thicker fabric and it'll tell you to switch to the 2 on the side. It's fun to get the paper off the mat. I know, Donna. Boy, that's so much fun. You can't stand it. Let me get our stuff, hit that and tell it okay. All right. So brand new to ScanNCut. Let's talk about that, okay? You've got 2 little shoulders on the side by where the wheels are, all right? You want to get your mat right up against these black wheels and put it right next to the shoulders. I'm using the black standard blade, okay? And it's up there by the shoulders. You've got right here, you have on and off, home, mat. That's the load in and out and pause. So I'm going to load the mat. All right, pull a little closer so I'm not reaching. Oh, I can't. I'm out of cord. Sorry about that. All right, so I'm going to get you in just a little bit closer. Let me stop that. We are pre-cutting our applique shapes. Let me get you in so you can see what I'm doing. All right. Now, this is the main menu, okay? Pattern and scan. Oh, and over yet, if you did the update to the ScanNCut and you don't have internet connection, Tuesday on the live, I went over how to fix that. So you can go back and watch that video. Scroll down in the more description box and there's a transcript button and you can look for it there. Okay. So you've got pattern and scan. Pattern are patterns that were in the machine when you bought it. We're not scanning right now, Here, there's a button that says retrieve data, and I'm going to get that. Where do I want to get it from? From inside the machine, from the cloud, or a USB, or you might be cabled to your computer. I'm going to get it from the cloud because that's where I got it from. That's Brother Canvas. And there it is right there. I'm going to double check my fabrics in the right place. Yellow, red, green, and that works. On this menu here, it's hard. You've got glare. You can't see that. You've got glare. Let me see if I can make that a little bit better. There you go. Okay. Here you've got add, edit. You've got grouping button, all kinds of stuff here. And this button right here, the blue button with the bar across it, that is your scan the mat button. So I'm going to scan the mat and hit start. I want it to take a picture of what it sees. Oh, wrong way. So you can see here, it's pulling it in and it's taking a picture of the fabric on the mat. I need to trim away those threads. That's annoying. The cup on the side of my ScanNCut is a command shower cup. All right. Well, look at that. Let's get you in. That looks good. So see, it took a picture of the mat, and I can tell I've got way too much fabric. I didn't even need to use that much, and that's okay. I like to make sure you can touch it and move things around. I like to make sure I've got an inch, 3/4 to an inch all the way around of my cut pieces so that the fabric has something to stick to when I'm doing this process. Okay, so I'm just going to tell it okay. And it says, please select and cut. All right, and start. There we go. It took a depth test of the mat, and now it's taking a depth test of the fabric on the mat, and it's going to cut everything out. You know, this is such a time saver. If you were to do all 4 blocks at one time, oh my goodness. When we finish here today, I'm going to do the other 3 blocks and get them cut out and stitched. So just so you know, when we come next week, I'll be doing a different block. This weekend, I will do all of the Harvest Star blocks. Bye, Vicki. Enjoy your day at Guild. Y'all, this is, oh my gosh, I would hate to be cutting these with scissors by pulling the hoop. That would be awful. Just awful. Looks like my mat is warped. All done. Finished cutting. I'm going to tell it okay. All right. So I'm just going to pull this up. And when you make SVG files from Embrilliance, one little string on the pieces always gets left. That's no trouble to just cut the little strings. Okay. So anyway, let me eject the mat. All done with ScanNCut. Awesome. Okay. Can this be cut on a laser? Sure, Mary. Absolutely, it can. Your laser accepts certain cut files, probably FCM, I am sure, and SVG. So yes, it can be cut on a laser. Okay. I'm always using my ScanNCut too. Yeah. Oh, you have not used Canvas before. Yeah, you'll love that. It's so easy to use. I prefer the online version. It is easier to use than the download version, in my opinion. All right. I am leaving my pieces on the mat or on the main fabric, if possible. Look at this. I love it. I got one thread. I'm leaving it on there because they have a tendency to grow legs away, and we don't need that. Right. So now I'm going to jump over to the embroidery machine. Push this out of the way. And let's come over here. And look at that. She's so pretty. So, oh my gosh, you guys. It's like tornado dark outside. It's terrible. Tornado dark. Okay. Let me put this out of here. And here's a remote. And here's a wrap. There we go. Perfect. Let's get in a little bit. Okay. So, Brother Luminaire. Okay. I'm going to go to embroidery and the pocket for memory. Sorry for the blinking if you just joined us. It is stormy outside and I cannot do anything about that. Okay. I want to go to the wireless memory, okay, because I sent it over using Embrilliance. I showed on Tuesday how to import all the designs. If you import the designs from here and then also want to do background quilting, you're going to have trouble because it doesn't allow you, like I'll show you, okay? Let me just do this and bring this to show you guys. Okay. So if I open it up from here and hit set, let me get my USB. Okay. I think I left the background quilting in the machine. All right. And then I go to add in the pocket for memory. And I go to the USB. Let me go to background quilting. Okay. And here's my crosshatch in the hoop. And we'll use square blocks. So I need to find the 6x6. I'll just pick one. I don't know if that's it or not. Yeah, it kind of is, and hit set. The problem with this is, with this method, if I go to edit and I use the, let me change the stitch order button, I cannot insert the background quilting into the design where it needs to go. Okay. You have to use embroidery software to do that. The way you can do this is to switch back and forth between the two designs. You'd have to close it and open it up and close it and open it up. Okay. That's kind of, and I don't want to fiddle with that. I'm going to tell it okay. And go back to home and tell it okay. So now I'm going to go to embroidery, pocket for memory, wireless, and where's my harvest star? Went too far. I'm on J. There it is. Here it is with the background quilting in the right order. Tell it set embroidery. And there we go. See? Okay. I have surge protectors too. Yeah. Okay. Good to go. All right. So I'm going to put my hoop in here. And remember, I duplicated that first stitch to give me a placement line for my batting and my background fabric. So I'm going to do right now. Let's do that. That's the first stitch. So this is an additional stitch I added in Embrilliance. All right. Tell me where to put stuff down. You've got the background quilting will stitch underneath this the other way. Okay. All right. Oh, it's wanting to go to the background quilting already. So I'm going to go into needle plus minus. I don't know what it did with that stitch, y'all. I'm going to go back one. It's like it ignored it. Let me put this down. And is this the color I want to use? I think so. Yeah, I think so. Are these the same color? I thought about using, is this one a little bit lighter? That one's just a hair light. I'm going to use that one because I want the applique. No, I'm going to use this one. Okay. So now I'm going to tack down. So if you don't want to copy and paste that placement line, and I did, and it didn't even look like it worked. Now, if you're not using the trimmer by George, I don't need that. It doesn't need to go around twice. If you're not using the trimmer by George, you're going to need to get in here and trim away your back, the batting. Okay. I'm using the trimmer by George. Let me go to the background quilting. There we go. All right. So Linda, I am going step by step, but I'm doing things my way, and it's a little bit different than what the instructions say. And so that can get confusing for people who need to follow instructions and get it and read it. So I've been doing this such a long time. I just know there's a better, more efficient way to get this done. Oh, this is turning out beautiful. Seam rippers available. Yes, Cindy. Sure. All right, so we're doing our, now it's just a matter of straight embroidery. Yes, we really need, that's why this will be available on Play. You need a tutorial for ScanNCut, Bonnie? I have a ScanNCut playlist, but mine is all for fabric crafting, not, I don't do vinyl or paper. So there are other tutorials for that on YouTube. This is going to be so cute. Oh, let me heat up my iron. So while this is stitching, I'm going to get this stuff here. Trim these up. So I'll leave these on the mat. Okay. Now it's going to do the placement line for the inner background fabric. Okay. There. Good. See how much fabric waste there is? I could have made I could have done like a 4.5 and it'd have been plenty, but I just made this big as an example to show you guys. Okay. And I don't need that. All right. So now I need my background fabric off of my project board. And I'm going to pull the hoop because it's kind of hard to see. Make sure it's on there. Oh, pretty easy. So it did the placement line for the background fabric. I'm going to take some tape just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. And my background fabric is way big as well. The amount of fabric that they tell you to cut is way too much. As quilters, we know we like to economize on fabric, but goodness sakes. Okay. So I'm still doing this. Now, when you pull your hoop, which I'm going to do here in a second to trim away that background fabric, I could cut all of those too on the ScanNCut, I suppose. I just didn't. Okay. Is that all of them? Yep. So leave all your pieces on your mat so they don't grow legs and walk away, because they will. Awesome. All right. So this is ready for ironing on. I put that to the side. And I'm going to pull my hoop now. And I'm going to trim away my, this is the inner background fabric. You can kind of see through it, but it'll be fine because it's going to have applique all over it. So thunder, y'all. Thunder, thunder, thunder. To get the closest cut, if you're right-handed and clockwise, and that's so the lower blade of your scissor is closest to the stitch line. If you're left-handed, trim counterclockwise. I should say if you're using left-handed first. Okay. Alrighty, and awesome. Okay. Put this back in the hoop, back in the machine, put the hoop back in the machine. Now is the placement line for the red. Change my thread so I can see it. Hard to see. Okay. When I change my threads, y'all look how dark it is outside. Look at that. Ooh. Okay. All right. When I change my thread, I cut a very long tail, and I like to use my thread guide at the top of the machine that's really made for bobbins. It just helps guide the thread. It makes me feel better. Not required. So I leave about 4 inches of a tail on each color. Okay. I trim up by the thread for the thread that I'm getting rid of. I make a loop between my thumb and forefinger of my left hand and drop the tails behind it, and then reach through the loop and make a single little knot down up there. Then I pull the thread out of the needle and pull it toward me and thread the machine like this. Okay. And then, all right. Perfect. Now this is going to work because I use the placement line as the size guide for the cut. Can't find the USB hub, must be out. No, it would have been it might be in my embroidery favorites, Midge, but it might be out. I'll look for another one and put it in there, okay? Or if Amazon, you can just search pink USB hub or dongle, because I like the pink one. Did I put backing fabric down first in my hoop? Backing fabric. Yes, that's this thatched looking piece right here. You're welcome, Midge. So great seeing you and Alan on the cruise. I want my smaller. Now, when you guys pull the hoop and you're going to do any work in the hoop, you always want to you always want to put it on a firm surface. Never, never put your hoop and lean it up against the desk like this and cut like that. You're going to make your stabilizer very floppy and you're going to lose the registration and none of your pieces, it's not going to work. Firm surface all the time. Is that the original lid to my machine or that a thread stand that I purchased? Heidi, that comes with the luminaire. The luminaire has the ability for it to fold back flat, and then it has a magnetic thread stand. This comes with the luminaire, and it sits on there. There's a magnet. This is a magnet for these two, and the thread stand for that. All right. Okay. So, pulling the hoop, firm flat surface, y'all. I got a thread here. Oh, I didn't need to turn that. So now I've got all my pieces, okay? So I'm just going to put this off. And that KK2000 lets them come up pretty easy. I'm just going to kind of place them approximately where they need to go for right now. And then I'm going to use tweezers, and the tweezers are going to help me get them exactly where they need to be, and then I can iron them down. Okay. This is so much fun. Oh my gosh. This is going to be such an adorable quilt. But I love not having to trim. If you don't have a ScanNCut, you're going to have to take that whole red piece and lay it on top of this, a whole red piece of fabric on top, and then you're going to stitch the tack down, okay? And then you're going to trim all around your pieces. Where are my tweezers? Okay. So now I'm just going to take tweezers and I'm going to put them where they need to go. And they fit perfect. Zero inflate, y'all. They fit perfect. All righty. This looks good. So there's half. You gotta be careful that as your cord or your iron will move these around. My big old clunky fingers. Now, ironing is its own skill set. You guys need to make sure, absolutely sure, that you can see a little bit of that placement line. Okay, you don't want to see a gap between your applique piece and your placement line, if possible. No gaps. Otherwise, it won't be right. Okay. This is so tiny. Little triangle. Oh. Now this thing says to trim to 5.5. Okay. This outer stitch line right here is 5.5. I'm pretty sure. That looks good. While it's hot, you can nudge it. See, look what happened here. I'll show you. Let me see. If you make a boo-boo, can you see there's a gap? Which one? Right here. There's a gap between the stitching and the fabric right there. See that gap? Okay. So I'm going to get it warm again. I don't know, it nudged, and I'm going to move it. Why are you being so difficult? There. Put half of it down, iron that, iron the other half. There we go. That looks good. If you have any fuzzies from your threads, you are going to want to trim those so they don't stick out from underneath embroidery stitching. I got one fuzzy right here. That'll make it nice and clean. Okay. Now we're ready for the next, which is the placement line for the yellow. Right? I believe. Oh no, that's the next one that's on the screen is the tack down for the red. So I don't need to do that. So if you go into the needle plus minus menu, okay, that's the tack down. Don't need it. I'm going to jump ahead one color stop. Okay. And change my thread to yellow. Since you ironed it down already, you don't have to do the tack down. Again, another efficiency with pre-cutting all of your pieces on the ScanNCut with heat and bond. Okay. You'll get real at this after a while, y'all. The thread change. So the methods that I'm teaching are, they're for efficiency. Less fabric, all right? Less fabric, less stitching, less cutting, less everything. Do you need to do the background quilting? No, you do not. You do not at all. Nope. Thanks, Peggy. She says, looking good, Becky. Let's see. This block's looking great. Saw that, Heidi. You finally got your order in. I saw that. So it's stitching the placement line for the gold right now. Got to stop chatting. You can multitask. Bye, Candace. Have a great day. See you later. Who's going to the quilt show today in Kansas City? I need to try to get there maybe next year. I'll make sure that's 5.5. Yep. So that outer stitch line is 5.5, y'all. So I will, since this quilt along or embroider along is going on into probably into July, I may pre-cut all of my blocks. Am I going to put blocks 6 by 6 to get 1/2 inch seams or 5.5? I resized the background quilting 5.5. All right. And y'all, the background quilting, even if I use 6 by 6 and other blocks, you're not going to see it. It moves so little that you wouldn't even see it, which means it went in 1/4 inch on each side, right? Okay. Kind of just place these where I think they ought to go. Let's see. Well, some are pointing some way and some are pointing the other way. So you kind of got to work that out. Figure out what goes where. If you leave them in the order that they cut, don't move them around a whole lot in canvas, then they're going to be pretty close to where they need to be in the design. That's very handy. Uh-oh, I lost one. Can you believe that? I lost one. Look at that. Where did that go? See what I'm talking about with the legs, y'all? Seriously? Where did it go? Here we go. No, I will not trim to 6 by 6. No, Betsy. No, the trim size for this block is 5.5. Did you guys see where that went? Will I use different background quilting on different blocks? Yes, Linda. In the description box is a list of all of the background quilting that I'm using and where I'm putting it in the quilt. All right. I'm on the hunt for that. Maybe it's still attached. No, it is not still attached. Where did it go? That's annoying. Oh, my word. Well, shoot. I cannot see it. Yeah, it's not stuck there. No, I don't see it. Okay. So, when I pulled it off at first, I wonder if it jumped. I don't see it on the floor. It's nowhere in this cut. No, I don't see it. Darn it. All right, so let me show you what I'm going to do. We're going to use some needle management here, stitch order management. Let me go ahead and get these down so they don't walk away. I'm going to place them all just right. I just don't need anybody else walking away. I was looking to see if they are, you know, stuck to the bottom of one or something. What a pain. That's why I like to leave them on the mat, but when I cut it, I'm going to stand up and brush on my clothing and see if it's stuck. It was funny. We had applique pieces we were doing on the cruise, and man, these things, they were teeny tiny and literally disappeared. Just disappeared, some of them. Like the little erasers on the pencil for the Gone Cruising. It was so funny. I mean, stood up, dug around in bags and trash and everything else, and nope, couldn't find it. Okay. So I'm going to check my clothing one more time. But I'll show you how you can use the needle plus minus button to solve this issue. Let me see here. I don't see it anywhere. Okay, so let me show you how to use the needle plus minus. So the next stitch is the tack down stitch, all right? I am going to take my fabric and I'm going to place it over that piece that's missing, okay? I'm going to use the old. Now, I'm going to jump ahead using the needle plus minus button. I'm going to go ahead 100 stitches, and I'm looking for the crosshair screen to tell me where it's at. Is that it? That one from the top? No, one more. It's this one right here that's missing. Okay. There it is. There's the start of the tack down on that. So I'm going to there we go. And have it tack that down. More than one way, you guys. More than one way. Stop the machine. Now I need to trim that away. So I just had to do the one. Highlight me now. Goodness. There we go. All done. Now I'll find that piece, right? Okay. Now I need to do a thread color change to the green. I'm going to jump ahead one thread color stop in the needle plus. I got a bobbin in here that I've made for other projects. I tape my bobbin. If I make a special, like this was on my other machine, I'll tape it into the bobbin, the thread spool, so I can keep them together. There we go. Here we go. She'd tell you the last place you left it. I know, right? I'm looking in my trash to see if it's in here, and I don't see it. I do not know where that went, y'all. I know it cut because I saw a hole for it. All right. Oh. Hi, handsome.
Are you still talking?
Yep. Going to be in another couple minutes. What's up? Oh, okay. Well, have a good time. Love you. Bye. Hubs is going to the dentist. I went the other day. I was on the cruise and I broke my bridge. I had cracked it before. Well, it cracked. I wasn't even chewing on that side. Yeah, I was eating a soft pretzel, brand new. I'd had it like 4 days. I was eating a soft pretzel and a piece of salt. I was chewing on my left side. Bridge is on the right. A piece of salt for the pretzel got over to the right side, and when I bit down and the salt was in the right spot, it went pow. I heard it crack. So I went to the dentist before the cruise to tell him, hey, this is a problem. Okay, I don't need the tack down, so I'm going to jump ahead 1 stitch. And here's the final stitching for the red. One more thread color change. And so they had to grind some teeth down. Oh, it was awful, y'all. That one, the 11th, was that right? The 10th. That was on the 10th. I was miserable when I got home because they need to make a thicker bridge to be able to handle it. I had such a headache and so much pain. Okay. All right. So now we're in the final decorative stitches. I'm going to do just one of these to show you how the decorative stitches fully cover the applique, and then I'll let you go and I'll finish this up. Otherwise, we're going to be sitting here another 25 minutes. Looks good. Go, Darla, go. Yeah. Oh, 2 root canals. Oh, that's horrible, Dawn. Quilt Wedge says, I have time. I'm not doing anything. There's still 700 people on this live. Y'all be sure to give a thumbs up. And if you are watching on your TV, grab the TV remote and hit the channel up button. That gives me a thumbs up as well. I appreciate it. Oh, you don't want to put down 35 patio slabs, although you'll be blaming me that you didn't get that done. Be like one of my viewers, Connie. She goes on a 3-mile walk every morning, and she has me in her AirPods. And so I'm walking vicariously with her and getting in my steps. Isn't that awesome? Hi, Elaine. Oh, my goodness. See and get an idea of what it's going to do. Okay. Here we go. Let me zoom in so you can see this. I will cut this tomorrow morning and show you how I cut these blocks. So here's the first one it did right there. Whoop, back this way. You can see that the decorative stitching completely covers the applique piece with a 0.0 inflate. Okay. And then here on this, it jumped over to here. It stitched a little on the gold and it came over to this red piece. And let me get you in. You can see, where's it at? Right there. You can see it does an outline all the way around the applique. And once it does that, then it's going to start zigzagging and it's going to go in and it will fully cover like it did on this one. Now this one's got some fabric that was pulled up. You can see the little white dits. You can fill that in with a Sharpie if that bothers you, with a red Sharpie, okay? But this looks lovely. Now let's take a look at the whole block. So I'm not using any SF101 on the back of the background fabric, okay? There is no puckering going on in here. And even with this heavy stitching right here, there's no puckering. And that's because I'm using 2 layers of no-show mesh crisscrossed with each other, all right? And then there's a layer of batting down as well. You can use 100% cotton, you can use an 80-20, or I'm using a 60-40 hemp bamboo, but it's gonna be much softer and it'll have more drape than the samples that you've seen in the stores that were made using the heavy tearaway stabilizer. I don't recommend that. It feels so, that makes your block feel so stiff because that heavyweight tearaway, even a medium weight, it's going to stay into this right here, okay? So the plan, I'm going to go ahead and let this finish stitching, and then I will wait. We'll do, I'm going to do the other blocks this weekend. I'm probably going to do them on the multi-needle because this is tedious to me, but I'll do the other blocks on the multi-needle. I'm going to save this file to the USB, okay? And then I'm going to take that USB and take it over to the multi-needle and put it in. And just like yesterday, I'm going to tell it when to stop for the applique and then iron all that down. And I might even be able to do 2 at one time in that 9x14 hoop, or 8x14 hoop. I can. I'm going to do 2 blocks at a time. That'll be easy. All right. Anyway, so, and then on Tuesday, when we come back, I'll show you how to trim the blocks using the trimmer by George, and then they'll all be done for that, for those 4 Harvest Star blocks. So if you're with me, I hope you enjoyed this. Please give the video a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. You guys, let's see, Sharon, so if you don't have Embrilliance, yes, and also I have a link to Embrilliance right below in the description box. If you'd use my link, I'd appreciate it. You only need Embrilliance Essentials to do what I showed you how to do today. And y'all, it's $139. That's dirt cheap. So can you just do the background quilting and then bring the design in and stitch it out? Yes, you can. Absolutely. You sure can. But you're going to have to, you know, you can use the ScanNCut to cut out all your pieces if you want, or do like the instructions say and just lay a big piece of fabric over that and it'll stitch all that down, and then you have to trim all that out. Okay. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Come on back tomorrow. Tomorrow's giveaway Friday, and we'll go over some other stuff other than embroidery, but we'll talk about it then. Okay. Or maybe I'll show you how I trim these blocks tomorrow, and then we can start fresh on Tuesday with another one of these. Okay. I will talk to you soon. I love you guys. See you later. Go sew something. Bye.